Saudi National Bank says Credit Suisse won't need extra funds, and the Fed may consider stricter rules for mid-size banks. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Farrage. Credit Suisse Group's Saudi backer is happy with its transformation plan and doesn't think the Swiss lender will need extra money. Saudi National Bank's chairman Ammar al-Quderi described Credit Suisse as an opportunistic investment, adding that it's a very strong bank. Al-Quderi said SNB will exit when proper value to the shares is acquired. SNB took an almost 10% stake in Credit Suisse last year and committed to investing up to $1.5 billion. Saudi electricity company, the Middle East's biggest utility, has posted $4 billion in net profit for 2022, a 5.2% boost from 2021. Operating revenue grew on a rise in demand for electricity. The company's operational profit edged up 2.4% to $4.8 billion. This came despite a 3.8% drop in gross profit, which recorded $5.3 billion for the year. Saudi's consumer price index rose 3% in February compared to the same period a year ago, mainly on higher prices of housing, water, electricity, fuels, and food. Official data shows rents for housing increased by 8.3% in February, while food prices rose by 3.1%. The cost of restaurants and hotels increased 6.5%, and transport costs rose by 2.7%. Meanwhile, Qatar's consumer price index rose to 4.4% year-on-year in February on the back of higher recreation, housing, and water prices. However, official data shows its CPI for the last month inched down by 0.1% compared to the previous month. The annual increase in Qatar's inflation is attributed to the rise in prices of 7 groups, including recreation and culture, to the tune of 20.8%, followed by housing, water, electricity, and others by 8.9%, restaurants and hotels by 4.5%, and education by 4.3%. The Federal Reserve is reportedly considering stricter rules to govern mid-size banks that would see them face similar oversight as the biggest banks in the country. Under these rules, mid-size banks would be subjected to stricter capital and liquidity requirements and face harder annual stress tests. It comes on the back of the sudden collapse of SVB, which held $209 billion in assets before its implosion last week. This makes it the second biggest bank collapse in U.S. history after the 2008 crash of Washington Mutual, which held $309 billion in assets. Let's take a look now at today's Forbes RealTime Billionaires ranking. It tracks the daily ups and downs of the world's richest people. Our biggest winner today is Elon Musk, up $5.7 billion with net wealth of $186.8 billion. Our second biggest winner is Mark Zuckerberg, up $4.6 billion with net wealth of $69.4 billion. And our third place winner is Jeff Bezos, up $2.4 billion with net wealth of $118 billion. Check out our website and our social media for all of the latest billionaires news. And staying with tech giant, Samsung Electronics says it will invest $230 billion by 2042 to develop the world's largest chip-making base. It's in line with efforts to enhance South Korea's chip industry. Officials say Samsung will build 5 new chip factories and bring in more than 100 smaller makers of parts and fabless chips, as well as R&D groups. South Korea aims to become a major player in a field dominated by Intel and Taiwan's TSMC. I'm Ramia Farrage. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.